Welcome to the JCPod, partner with Stay Down Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and hey man, that much closer to NFL time. We got about, I wish I had the scrolling thing go a little bit faster. 11 days till college football, I know for sure, and we got 23 days till NFL football. Had a little bit of preseason action happen this weekend. I won't even lie to you. Didn't really watch much. I thought I would. Ended up not watching anything really at all. Saw a few highlights towards the end of a few players just to see what they did, but past that, really didn't look too much into it. But going into today, it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to go over the NFC North, break down that. Before we get to the NFC North, we have a little bit of NFL news to talk about. But other than that, we're going to keep it pretty simple. We're going to talk the NFC North today, and then I think that just leaves us with the NFC West for tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean potentially Thursday. I won't lie to you, my plan is to record Thursday's episode either right after this one or tomorrow morning, and that will either be posted live Wednesday or Thursday, just depending on how well I feel. For those of you who don't know, I got surgery tomorrow, so it's going to mess up a little bit. By the way, probably no shows until next Thursday. I'll probably take Tuesday off to recover a little bit, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. Interesting, quick little week and a half until we head to, NFL season. Then I got my boys' bachelor trip coming up, so I'm going to be out for that for Thursday and Tuesday. I mean, we got a while into August right before NFL season, but we ain't here to talk about me. We're going to hop right into it. We're going to go over some NFL news before I go to my NFC North breakdown. There's some stuff to talk about. Very quickly, we'll go through it. It sounds like, before we get to the one thing, Jaguars have activated Eric Armstead off the PUP list, which is really good for them, honestly. That's basically all I can just say about that. Good to get their pass rusher back. Sounds like there's a chance that this Ayuk trade could happen. Sounds like there's a deal in place. According to if San Francisco signs off, the agreement is reportedly done and Ayuk will join the Steelers. The 49ers also offered the Brandon Ayuk a long-term contract, and Ayuk has turned it down. So it's pretty much, it sounds like it's up to Ayuk if he's going to sign with the Steelers or the... Well, no, sorry, excuse me. It's kind of up to the 49ers. The 49ers agree to it. It sounds like he's going to be a Steeler. If not, it kind of sounds like Ayuk's going to stay a 49er. Regardless. And some other sad news to go along with that, but before I get to, just to continue on real quick with the Ayuk news, I don't know at this point. It sounds like it's damn near 50-50. Apparently the Niners weren't satisfied with the Steelers' offers for Ayuk last week, and then they asked Pittsburgh to include a wide receiver. A 3-team trade that would send Ayuk to Pittsburgh and return to San Francisco. The return receiver has been speculated. So this might even become a 3-teamer. That would be very, very interesting. It sounds like the Cleveland Browns, New England. Oh, they just negotiated. I wonder who the third team would be if it ended up being Cleveland or something, but no clue. So it really sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo potentially as well, but it also sounds like there is some workings on the Brandon Ayuk news. J.J. McCarthy is going to be out indefinitely after a torn meniscus. Apparently he is. I'm trying to see when it happened. Oh, here we go. He played Saturday's preseason game, didn't practice Monday due to knee soreness, and reportedly underwent an MRI, and then that's when it was found. So, potentially happened maybe sometime during the preseason game would be my guess. Apparently he underwent surgery, and it sounds like it potentially was a meniscus trim, and if that's the case, that's a 4 to 6 week healing injury, or healing from the injury, so it sounds like that JJ potentially might not be out too long as potentially feared originally. And I potentially think that might have been it. Chase Claypool is apparently going on season-ending IR. Really? They're not really saying why either. I have no idea. Very, very interesting. There's going to be... that Chase Claypool story is just honestly pretty crazy how his career has gone. He went from looking like he's going to be really promising coming out of Notre Dame to... he had one good year in the Steelers pretty much, and ever since then he's just kind of been meh, to say it at best. Jahmyr Gibbs has suffered a hamstring injury. It also sounds like the severity is unknown, which makes it even more scary because regardless, sounds like I think Adam Schefter talked about it a little bit today. He's not going to be playing probably any more of the preseason. I'm assuming he's going to be rested until week 1, but the fact that he has a hamstring injury already, this is going to nag him for a lot of the season. This is going to be very, very, very bad news, honestly, because hamstrings are nothing we played with. They can linger, they can last. Hopefully for Jahmyr Gibbs, it doesn't last all season, but this is just something that we're going to have to keep an eye on now. And for fantasy purposes, I'm not even going to lie. Kind of wanted Jahmyr Gibbs. Now has me kind of like, ooh, that is not good. The Browns are going to start Watson in the preseason finale, and he's on pace to be playing week 1. And this is going to be the first time he's played since breaking his shoulder in November. So, good we're going to see out there. Good we're going to see him out there because I kind of want to get... I don't even know what Deshaun Watson is anymore at this point. It's just going to be nice to be able to see him maybe play like 3 or 4 games of football in a row. Kind of get an idea of like, oh, okay. To see if he actually has it still or not. Well, I won't lie. I don't know if we're going to see any more of that magic that he used to have in Houston, which really sucks because in Houston he really had some magical stuff. Apparently, Andy Reid came out and said that Hollywood Brown won't need surgery for a shoulder injury he suffered in the preseason opener. He spent last night in the hospital before being released. They will get the joint back in place without surgery, which is a positive. That sounds really scary, honestly. Apparently, the injury is the same situation that Tyreek Hill dealt with in 2019 in the regular season opener. He missed 4 games before returning. But Andy Reid came out and said there's probably not the same timeline as that. We'll just have to see because it's a different human, obviously. But yeah, concerning news for the Kansas City wide receiver room that between the justice system and now injuries is just becoming a bit ragged. Multiple teams interested in Matthew Judon, which would make sense. He's a really good pass rusher. I don't think the Patriots are going to trade him unless they have a horrible start to the season, would be my only guess. The Jets have come out and said they're not going to trade Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick has come out, and he said he's wanted a trade, but that seems like it's not going to happen. Seems like they're going to find a way to get a deal done. It's just crazy to think that they would trade for him and then know that he wants kind of a deal, and then this whole situation happens anyway. I don't know. It's just a really weird situation. Hopefully it gets fixed because they could really use him. He's a really good pass rusher. Bengals, Amarius Mims has a strained pectoral muscle. He's going to be out for several weeks, which is not good for an offensive lineman that needs to protect Joe Burrow, who missed a lot of time last year. Jalen Phillips is activated from the PUP list, which is huge news for the Dolphins because I've talked about their defense and my concerns for them all season. And now they're getting a really, really good defender back, which is really good. 49ers apparently quit joint practices with Saints due to a rash of injuries. This happened, I think, yesterday. So I think that's actually where the news is going to end. I thought I had a lot more to talk about, but we could talk about some preseason action, what really happened. But I'll probably save it for maybe my preseason as a whole because, like I said, I kind of do want to talk about the preseason, but I'm going to be on and off for the next 2.5 weeks with shows where potentially it's only 1 episode a week, potentially 2 episodes, if I can squeeze it in. So I just don't want to commit to it fully, so I'll just hold off for right now. So yeah, that pretty much leads us into now where we're going to do the breakdown. So looking at the NFC North from last year, NFC North was conquered by the Lions, who had a little resurgence year. The Lions finished the season 12-5. Green Bay Packers right behind them at 9-8, and the Bears and Vikings both tied with a 7-10 record. It's a really, really competitive division. Both Packers and Lions ended up making the playoffs, and I'm trying to finish the last 5. This doesn't really matter. But yeah, it was a really exciting division, honestly, last year. Between the fact that the Lions had a really, really good start to it, and the fact that the Packers, after a slow start, seemed to kind of get their rhythm going and get a little bit better as the season went. Coming into this season, the Packers and the Lions looked to both be atop and fighting for the division again. The Bears looked to make a little push/surge. I guess that's why I said purge. Idiot, man. But they looked to make a little push. The Bears do, with the fact that now they have Caleb Williams in town. Offense is super upgraded with a bunch of people they signed in free agency. And the Vikings look to kind of, I guess, I don't know if it's a full reset, but kind of resettle themselves now in a new era. They drafted J.J. McCarthy, but I just talked about his injury now, and he's hurt, so I don't know how long it's going to be until we see him. But before we get into any of that, let's just talk about individual teams. So we will start with the Minnesota Vikings, actually. And they, last year, finished with a record of 7-10. Like we talked about, rough season for them. Kirk Cousins tore his ACL very early on, and then they ended up moving on from him. So when that happened, it was kind of a sign that, yeah, They were definitely going to be for sure going in a different direction. Yeah, I mean, once he went down, I mean, you basically assumed they were going to go in a different direction. To see who they ended up drafting, though, kind of shocking that they ended up with J.J. McCarthy, and they didn't trade up or nothing really happened. But J.J. didn't have jeez, boy. J.J. had a few good throws in the preseason. He did look honestly pretty decent, but now that he's hurt, going to delay him a little bit, so they're going to end up sticking with Sam Darnold. I don't know how Sam Darnold looked in the preseason. But looking at their depth chart, Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, you're looking like they're going to be two quarterbacks. Eventually, J.J.'s going to take over, but now it's going to be between Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall, who's going to be backing up Sam Darnold for the time being. Running back-wise, you got Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler. Aaron Jones, who came over from the Packers. Receiver-wise, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, Brandon Powell, Trent Sherfield Sr., and Tristan Jackson. Tight end-wise, I got T.J. Hawkinson, who's out right now with injury. Not coming back. It doesn't sound like he could be anywhere from week 1 to week 8. It doesn't sound like there's a true 2-time period. So you got Johnny Munt and Josh Oliver. Fullback C.J. Ham, and an offensive line led by Christian Darrisaw. Defensively, they got Jerry Tillery, Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Bullard, Jonathan Grenard, Ivan Pace, Blake Cashman, Andrew Van Ginkel. That's where Van Ginkel went. Shout out Andrew Van Ginkel. Can't believe the Dolphins still let him go along with Christian Wilkins. Byron Murphy Jr., Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, Shaquille Griffin, and John Metellus. Nickelback. I was like, what? MB? What? But yeah, honestly, this team overall, they don't seem like they're going to be too bad of a team. I think the NFC North is actually going to be a bit of a competitive division. I just assume the Vikings are going to be last because I assume Caleb Williams is going to be just talented enough to get the Bears to around 8 to 9-ish wins. And I figured this is going to be a team that's going to be around 7 to 8-ish. But schedule-wise, they will be starting off the first game of the year traveling to New York. Home versus San Francisco, home versus Houston, travel to Green Bay, there it is. They will be playing the Jets at home, but I think that's a foreign game, so I don't know where it's going to be played overseas at, but I think it's somewhere in Europe. Week 6 bye, tough. Home versus Detroit, on the road for LA. Back home versus the Colts, on the road for Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Chicago. Back home to play the Bears, Falcons, then Bears again. Home for the Cardinals, Falcons, and then home for the Bears. Travel to Seattle, home versus Green Bay, travel to Minnesota. Yeah, overall, though, doesn't seem like a horrible schedule. They can definitely, just looking across, I mean, it's not the easiest, I will say that for sure. They're semi-tough. I mean, New York, I think they could handle them. They're probably going a little 3, potentially even 4-game losing streak, losing to San Francisco, Houston, Green Bay, and New York. But Green Bay, they might have a chance to steal that there because it's division. And then, Detroit, Rams, Colts, I can see them losing all that games, and I assume they might beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and Titans. Split with the Bears, there's about 4 wins I think I got right there. They could beat maybe the Cardinals or Falcons, and then they got the Bears again for Monday Night Football. Seattle, maybe. I just don't know. I think this team is about a 7 or 8 win team. I would say they just have a tough week, besides the Week 6 bye. Honestly, until they play Indy Week 9, I mean, shit. San Francisco, Houston, Green Bay, the Jets, assuming Aaron Rodgers is still healthy, Detroit, the Rams, then the Colts. That's a tough little stretch, especially if they are healthy for the Colts as well. God damn, boy, I cannot stop yawning. Woo! That was a big one. Holy shit, I might leave that in. That was, jeez. Anyway, yeah, overall, I think their over-under win total is about 7.5-ish, if I remember correctly. I won't lie either. When I was looking through this division, not too much I'm going to bet, actually. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility in this division. I do have more stuff, I think, on the Lions and Packers, I believe, than I do these other two teams. Win total-wise, I got to recheck the Vikings, but I'm pretty sure it's 7.5. I just can't tell you off the top of my head what their odds are. Under 7.5 is about minus 168. Over is plus 134. If I had to pick for the Vikings, I'd go under. But I'm for sure not betting this. Under is 7.5 minus 134. No chance I bet this, honestly. I have no idea. They could end up going over 8. I wouldn't be shocked. They could be right at 7. I could be pissed off. So I'm not going to end up taking this at all. I don't even think I have anything for... Yeah, I don't think I have anything for the Okay, one thing I might take is Justin. So Justin Jefferson to have 13 receiving touchdowns. I did ponder it potentially. I'm like, well, maybe he could end up just saying going off. Sam Darnold could just be targeting him a lot, but I just can't fully commit myself to it. What I was going to do was come on here and then look up his receiving touchdowns by year pretty much, and then kind of just decide on there and put myself on the spot. 7, 10, 8, and 5 he's had, and then, I mean, shit, he gets just so many yards and targets and everything. If he can't, yeah, 13's a bit too high. But plus 750 if you think he can break through. I don't think so. I think I'm going to hold off that one, actually, and not take it. So I really don't have anything I'm going to bet on the Vikings. I'm just going to stay away from them because eventually I think we do see J.J. McCarthy at some point this season. I don't know when, but we will for sure see him at some point this season. And I don't know if that's when if we don't, maybe that means Sam Darnold playing really good. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this Vikings team other than they're going to get about 6 to 8-ish win range. I project, I think 4 of their wins I could see happening, and then those other 3 to 4 you could tell me could be anywhere and wouldn't shock me. Next team I guess we'll talk about is the Chicago Bears, who also finished 7-10 last year. A little bit of a change for them. They move on from Justin Fields, and with the number 1 overall pick, they take Caleb Williams. There was some rumor that they might end up keeping Justin Fields, especially with how the end of the season went, but they eventually just pulled the trigger and moved on. And now Justin Fields is their quarterback. Along with that, they made a lot of other roster moves, so looking at their 2 deep. Tyson Bagent is still there to back up Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is his show. New running back-wise, they have DeAndre Swift now with Roschon Johnson and Khalil Herbert behind him. Khalil Herbert being the 2, Roschon the 3. Wide receiver-wise, another addition, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. And they got Tyler Scott, Velus Jones, and DeAndre Carter backing them up. Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, Mercedes Lewis for the tight ends. Damn. I didn't realize this is where Gerald Everett went. Holy shit, the Bears did get damn near a new guy at every position. And then offensive line-wise, I actually have no... I can't remember if they drafted an offensive lineman this year or not. I believe they did. I can't tell you what position, but with the... maybe they didn't, actually. I can't remember. Defensive starter-wise, they got Montez Sweat, who ended up being a great signing for them now that they kept him. Andrew Billings, Gervon Dexter Jr., or Senior, DeMarcus Walker, TJ Edwards, Jermaine Edmonds, Jack Sanborn, Jalen Johnson, who I was really good that they kept him. They should have. He is he's a stud. Best way to put it. He's a stud. Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, really good signing, I would think. Tyreek Stevenson and Kyle Gordon. Cairo Santos is their place kicker, and the punter is Torrey Taylor from Iowa, who is a really good addition. I mean, Bears, I think, got a really good amount of additions to them. It all just literally comes down to, doesn't matter what I say, all comes down to Caleb Williams and how's Caleb Williams going to perform. Keep this in mind, they have an over-under win total of 8.5, 8.5 being minus 160. We'll remember that going into their schedule. They do have, I believe, the last place schedule, so their schedule should be a slight bit easier than most teams. Week 1, they're home versus Tennessee. Travel to Houston week 2. Travel to the Colts week 3. Back home for a little 3-game home stretch of Rams, Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars, which is actually at a neutral site. Just kidding. Week 7 is their bye. Week 8 they travel to the Commanders, and then travel to Arizona. Back home to play New England, then Green Bay and Minnesota. Travel to play Detroit, San Francisco, Minnesota. Week 16 back home to play Detroit. 17 home versus Seattle, and then Week 18 they travel to play Green Bay. I mean, 8.5, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably going to take the under just because it's a rookie quarterback and because it's plus money. And I actually might consider betting this. We'll have to see. I think they go 1-2. I think they potentially beat Tennessee, but I honestly think they'll lose to Houston, to the Colts. I think they'll lose to the Rams. They'll beat Carolina. I would think there's their second win. We'll just say they beat Jacksonville just for the argument. There's their third win. So then they would be 3-3 going into their bye. I think they could potentially beat Washington. There's 4. Lose to Arizona, maybe. Beat New England. There's 5. And then if you split other division games, there's 6, 7, 8. And that means they just need to beat either San Francisco. I mean, they have a tough last 6 game too. It's all division. Green Bay, Minnesota, Lions, San Francisco, Minnesota, Lions, San Francisco, or Seattle, Green Bay. That's a tough end of the season. If they basically split all the division games, so they'll get 8, and then if they win one more of those division games and or beat San Francisco or Seattle based on my projections, that would give them their 9th win. Looking at all that, under 8.5 and plus 130, I think this is about an 8-win team. I think they'll get like maybe 1 win better than last year, but there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, for Caleb Williams' first year, I think him getting 8 wins would be astounding. I mean, that damn near could sneak him into the playoffs even, depending on how nasty the conference gets. But overall, I just think that I'm not going to be shocked if they go over either. If they go over, I mean, there's a good chance that Caleb Williams plays just that good. The Bears are a talented team at this point, but they also are the Chicago Bears, and I've had a close eye on them basically for my 4 years up there in Chicago, spending time with my boys, and then just obviously being in college there and playing football there. I got to watch the Bears closely because my friends love watching the Bears, so I just can't trust this team. I got to see them do it, so I'm going to take the under if I do bet anything. Some stuff I'm kind of interested in. Caleb Williams score 5+ rushing touchdowns is plus 250. Maybe? I don't know. I was trying to look up his college rushing stats, but I couldn't find it in time. So this was just something where I'm like, well, at least write it in red, bring it on the show, and then maybe. But I'm not fully sold on it. But yeah, him to have 5+ rushing, only being plus 252, that's kind of why I'm like, man, that's a lot for a quarterback. But also, I don't know, maybe he just does it like that. So we're kind of, like that. We have this written down. It might make the chopping room floor, but I don't know. Maybe might make the list. I doubt it, but we'll see. And then past that, I think that might have been my only Bears bet. Because, yeah, I look at the Bears. I don't know. I want to watch them kind of this first year. I think Keenan Allen's going to get a ton of targets. I don't know. They have 3 really good receivers at this point between Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen. I don't know who Caleb Williams is going to like first or more, so I'm just going to kind of just going to sit off it. I will look at, just because he's my boy, I will look at Keenan Allen's receiving touchdowns just because of how awesome he was for me last year. His receiving touchdowns over unders. Okay. Keenan Allen to have over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. I'm going to take that over. That seems really low, honestly. So Keenan Allen over 4.5 is minus 106. I mean, I think Keenan Allen can easily have 5 touchdowns this season. So that's going to be something I keep my eye on. And do I want to take anybody else? DJ Moore, potentially. If I was to take DJ Moore, his over's at 5.5. A little bit. And the last one we'll check is Rome Odunze, just for the... Man, he's at 4.5 minus 1, too. I'm good. I was hoping maybe he'd be at like 2 or 3.5. We could get a nice one, but I think Rome Odunze potentially could. But I don't know who Caleb Williams is going to like. So I'm going to lean towards one of the veterans. I'm going to potentially lean towards my guy that did a lot for me last year. So now that we got the Bears over with, we are going to go next to the Packers, I believe. The Green Bay Packers, who finished last year having a nice little run. That close to making it to the Super Bowl. They almost looked like they were going to pull off the upset against the 49ers in the divisional round, and they just weren't able to. Which then led them to... Oh, wait. I apologize. Was I stupid? Did I read that wrong? No, that was the divisional. Sorry, my thing didn't update. So, yeah, the divisional round, they just barely lost to the 49ers. It looked like... I mean, this was just a really weird season for the Packers. Started off really rough. Everyone's just like, oh, Jordan Love sucks. Then ends with Jordan Love being really good. Jordan Love is the highest paid NFL quarterback now. Actually, that might have changed. It might not. He might have been the latest still. But still a lot of weirdness going around the Packers. But a lot of promise now going into year 2. They changed up the roster a little bit as well. So they still got Jordan Love and Sean Clifford. And then for running back wise, where they got a little change. They got Josh Jacobs, A.J. Dillon, Marshawn Lloyd. With Josh Jacobs being the 1. A.J. Dillon probably going to be the 2 for a bit. This could be his last year, though, in Green Bay, potentially. Wide receiver-wise, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Bo Melton, Malik Heath. I mean, we all saw these dudes make play last year. Jordan Love loves to spread it out to a lot of guys. Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft is their tight ends. Looking at their defensive starters, you got Preston Smith, Kenny Clark, TJ Slayton, Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, Eric Wilson, Isaiah McDuffie, Jair Alexander, Javon Bullard. Sorry, I was thinking of Haven for a second. I'm like, oh, that's not Haven. Javon Bullard, Xavier McKinney, Eric Stokes, and Keeson Nixon. Not gonna lie, Packers kind of got a little squad. They got a bunch of dudes on this team that I really like. Last year they were 9-8. I look for them to potentially get up to. Now I think they're going to be about 9-8 or better. I don't think there's going to be a drop off at all. If anything, I think they're just going to be like I would say probably max 3 wins, and they go up to 11-12. But I think they're going to be, if anything, it's at least going to be a 1 or 2 win improvement. Their win total over under is at 9.5 wins minus 138. If I was to take something, it'd be, I guess, the over, but it wouldn't be a confident over. Over 9.5 at minus 138. Just simply for the fact, like I said, I think they're going to be a 1 or 2 win improvement, but I think they're going to be about the same here. I'm probably not going to bet it just because of the odds too, minus 138, and it's the exact number I would have, so it's like, yeah, that's going by the books. Something I'm looking at, probably not going to take super long odds. Luke Musgrave, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and Jaden Reed all score 5 touchdowns. It's plus 3,000. I actually just wanted to bring it up. I liked it potentially. I don't like having 4 dudes on here. If you took off one of them, I'd probably consider it. But I don't know. Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs are going to be 2 names I wanted to look at, so that's why I brought that up as well. Because just looking at those dudes alone, Romeo Doubs is in the R's, right? I forgot. I thought I wrote this down. They don't even have him up here to bet on. So we'll just look at Jaden Reed then. Jaden Reed's over-unders at 4.5. I do think he's going to get 5 touchdowns. The only thing is, this is receiving touchdowns. So if he does run in, that's going to be a little bit heartbreaking. But 4.5, I like that. I think that's really low. I think Jaden Reed's going to be really good for them this year. And then, who was it? Was I going to look up Christian Watson? I guess I can. I'm probably not going to bet Christian Watson, personally. You can't even anyway. Okay, Jaden Reed's the only one you can bet on. I will take Jaden Reed, though, over... I do like his over 4.5, so I'm probably going to end up taking that, honestly. Other Packers stuff I was kind of looking at and debating. Rashawn Gary to score 10.5 sacks plus 200. I think Rashawn Gary is going to have another good season this year. So that's something I'm maybe going to take. I don't know why I'm writing in red. Writing in black. This is 100% of red. Over 10 sacks. And it's only plus 200, so that's kind of what's holding me off. It's like, these odds aren't amazing. So it's like, Probably going to say, I do think he's going to have a good season, but the odds are kind of low. So it's like, I might stay away from that. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at for that team. Josh Jacobs, rushing-wise, I'll take a quick peek at that. I'm not going to take any... I think of Jordan Love. I just think he's going to have a good season. I don't know what that's going to equate to yard-wise. But Josh Jacobs to have over 925 rushing yards is tempting. I'm personally not going to take it. I'm not going to jump into the... I'm going to stay away from the yards. I'm more of a touchdown guy. Over under 7.5 touchdowns. A little high. I'm going to stay away from that as well. So the only thing I'm looking at is probably Jaden Reed, I would say. And that leaves me with one team remaining, and that is last year's division winner, the 12-5 Detroit Lions. They had a really, really, really good season last year. Honestly, when they beat the Chiefs week 1, everyone was kind of like, oh, okay. That was kind of shocking. More of like, whoa, what are the Chiefs doing? And now thinking about it more, it's like, man, okay, Lions. And the Lions end up having an amazing season. Like I said, they made it all the way to the conference championship, where they just fell short to the 49ers. And it pretty much was they damn near blew the game, I want to say. I forget I can't remember what play it was that it happened, but there was a turnover on downs. I think that towards the end that kind of did it. But like I said, I can't. Kind of looking for the. I can't fully remember, but it did end up 34-31. It was a heartbreaking loss for Lions, who they were jack close to making the Super Bowl, and realistically, like they probably should have. The 49ers scored 27 of their 34 in the last two quarters, outscoring the Giants 27-7. They outscored them 10-7 in the fourth quarter, and it was 27-7 in the whole half, and that's pretty much where they fell off. It's just heartbreaking stuff for them. So they look to come back this year a little bit stronger, a little bit better. But instead of being the hunters now, more the hunters now, they're going to be one of the hunted. And it's going to be a tough road ahead for them. Damn, did I even read the Packers' schedule? I wouldn't even lie to you. I think I just totally... Oh my gosh. Oops. I guess in the middle of this real quick, Packers schedule. Let's not get too confusing. We'll just stick with the Lions. I am sorry, Packers. I totally spaced that. I did not read their schedule. I was so excited to jump into my bets. And that I didn't even think about their schedule. I can promise you, though, I did look at it ahead of time, and that's where I did get the 9 to 11 win range from. But yeah, I just always spaced to read it. But quarterback-wise, for the Lions looking there too deep, we got Jared Goff, back up by Nate Sudfeld. Running back-wise, it's now David Montgomery as the starter, Jahmyr Gibbs as the backup, Craig Reynolds is third string, just simply because of the injury situation. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Khalif Raymond, Traquan Smith, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Tom Kennedy are the wide receivers. A little light in the wide receiver room, could use a little bit of help there, but when you got a stud like Amon-Ra, helps out a lot. Sam Laporta, tight end, back up by Brock Wright. And then looking at still one of the best offensive line in the league. You talk about Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow, Kevin Zietler, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold, and Amik Robertson lead their defense. When it comes to the Lions, I actually forget what their win total is. To be quite honest, I think this is going to be... I guess it's probably 10.5, 11.5 over under. Why can I not find this? They moved the win totals away? There it is. I don't know, they just moved the tab one low. That's what it was. Weird. Detroit Lions over under the win totals at 10.5. I would just take the over right away. They're bringing a lot of the same team back. Same offensive coordinators coming back. Okay. I was trying to... Oh, there it is. I'm stupid. Lions, we said over under 10.5. I lean towards their over. Minus 132. Another situation where I probably won't bet, but we'll look at it. Looking at their schedule now, and we're actually going to read the schedule like the Packers one. They're home for the LA Rams and then Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before week 3, they go to play the Cardinals, and they're back home to play Seattle. Little road trip to play Dallas and Minnesota, back home for Tennessee, travel to play Green Bay, travel to play Houston, home versus Jacksonville, away at the Colts, back home for Bears, Packers, Bills, travel to go play the Bears. Man, Monday Night Football, Week 17 against the 49ers. Playoff preview? Mm-hmm. And then they come back home to play the Vikings, Week 18. Look at their schedule. Let's see. I think they could potentially beat the Rams. We'll say they beat the Bucs again. We'll say they beat the Cardinals. We'll say they beat Seattle. Beat Dallas. There's 5-0. Will they actually go 5-0? I'd probably guess 4-1 in that stretch, so we'll move back to 4-1. Probably beat Minnesota. They'll beat Tennessee. There's 5-6. We'll say they lose this one to Green Bay. Then they lose to Tennessee or Houston. Beat Jacksonville. There's 7. We'll say they lose to the Colts just for argument. And then going to beat the Bears, there's 8. Beat the Packers, there's 9. Bills, there's 10. They realistically you can't get to 11 wins again. There's definitely the games to do it on their schedule. It's just they play a lot of tough teams, obviously because of the first place schedule. But, I think the Bears' back-end schedule is harder than this schedule. The last 8 games, the Bears play 6 division games, and then Seahawks, I think 49ers. And then they play the Jacksonville Jaguars here. They can play the Colts if you really want to say that. The Colts should be hopefully a tough out still. But playing the Bears twice, play the Packers, play the Vikings, play the Bills. It's going to be tough, but the Lions are actually a good team at this point. We can expect good things from them. I think they're going to have a good season again. And I think potentially this is going to be their division. It's going to be between them and the Packers is my belief, with the Bears being just right there out of reach. But potentially next year with Caleb Williams, the Bears will be able to make some noise. This is a team I do look to take some stuff in. If you think Sam Laporta is going to score 10-plus touchdowns, plus 210, I'm going to write this down in red because it's something I'm debating. But having this touchdown performance with Pete is going to be hard. But 10-plus at plus 250 is not bad. Plus 210, not amazing, but it's okay, I guess. Aiden Hutchinson to record 15 sacks plus 470. This is more of one I would kind of want to take because I do think Hutchinson is going to be a little bit better this year. I do believe they have some more help at the pass rushing. Hutchinson, is it 15? But 15 is a lot of sacks. This is another one. It's in red. Not sure if I'm going to take it. Up in the air. Might take it if I have a little extra more money to have fun. One thing I will take, though, we haven't taken one yet today, so we'll at least take one now. Detroit Lions, 1+ field goal every game. This one is plus 1,800. The one thing that's scaring me with this is they just got a new kicker. They lost their kicker for the year. And so the fact that they might have rotating kickers is something that really does concern me. So that's one everyone fears. This is the fact that they might not have a stable kicker. They have a guy for right now in Jake Fox, but is he going to be their guy by the start of the season, let alone all season? We'll have to see. But for right now, that's something I'm somewhat interested in. Another one that's a long shot that I might take is Lions score 1+ passing touchdown. Just simply for the fact that I think their offense is going to score a lot this year. Ben Johnson has been really good with them. And plus 1,200 isn't horrible odds. But the one I'm really kind of interested in, Lions to score 1+ rushing touchdown every game. I love their rushing attack. Between Gibbs and Montgomery, it just sucks that Montgomery got hurt at this point. Lions, them to have 1+ rush every game, though, is plus 3,500. So this is one that I'd be really interested in. Because, they have they have probably one of the best running back combos in the league. And especially with this David, like I said, but my only fear is with this hamstring injury with Jahmyr Gibbs, it lingers all season. And then David Montgomery gets too many carries and he gets hurt would be my only fear, but I think they should be able to handle it. They should be able to get healed. It's just I am scared of that. I really am scared of that Jahmyr Gibbs hamstring injury. That's something that could come back to bite him. And Jahmyr Gibbs' over-under was at 7.5 and it's now locked. And I bet you David Montgomery's stuff is now locked. His over-under is at 9.5 minus 104. I will take that. Just for injury case. Just in case. Because if David Monty over 9.5 rush TD. I do think this is something I do want to take because simply for the fact that we talked about it. Hamstring injury with Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's a quick guy, quick burst guy, so that's going to be a muscle that become an issue all season long, and if it does, Monty's going to get a lot of touches, and he's going to make good work with all of them. But that's probably going to do it for today. Like I said, tomorrow, look for a video either tomorrow afternoonish sometime or potentially Thursday morning. I should be hopefully back from surgery and well. Thankfully, like I said, it's just minor surgery, getting a cyst removed. It's just going to be around my mouth region, so I won't be able to talk too much. So my goal is to be back by Thursday next week. I'm probably going to pretty much take a week off because I'm going to need probably about a weekish to heal and be able to fully talk again because, kind of hard to talk, with stitches and surgery around your mouth, believe it or not. So hopefully everything will go well. I'll be back next Thursday, and next Thursday, or because I'll have don't worry about this week though, like I said, there will be an episode Thursday. It'll be the final breakdown of the NFC West. And then next Thursday, I believe I'll come back to talk some football and everything. And then, before I leave, I will be gone a Thursday and a Tuesday. The final week of August, heading into September, I potentially those might be the 2 days I do all my college football futures bets and all my NFL futures bets. I believe that next Thursday as well, we're going to talk a lot more college football. There's some stuff I want to bring up just because we've been talking heavy football. And like I said, Thursday's the last breakdown. So it's going to be a really fun end to August. Cannot wait for NFL to come back. Like I said, you just saw it. 23 days away, man. It's unbelievable. 11 days away from college football. Crazy that we're this close. Cannot wait. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. I really do appreciate it. I'll see everybody either tomorrow on Wednesday or the August 14th or 15th. Or I'll see everyone on August 15th. And then after that, we're hitting the home stretch, man. Football will be that next week. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. Really do appreciate it. I will see everybody back in this feed Wednesday? Thursday?